And now let's take a look at my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Number 10, The Cable Guy. I absolutely loved this movie when I was a kid, and it was definitely a departure for Jim Carrey, foreshadowing movies like Truman Show, Man on the Moon, and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And of course, the number 23, if you want to go there with it. I didn't mind it. And you know, actually, if you stop to think about it, it was actually kind of the perfect time for him to come out with this. I know a lot of people weren't ready for it, but you could obviously tell he kind of wanted to branch out and do something a little bit different. It was Jim Carrey being his goofy self, but turns out also kind of a psychological thriller. I absolutely love the scene where he forced Matthew Broderick's character to go medieval jousting with him at medieval times. And oh yeah, if you've seen my video where I talk about red or glowing eyes traumatizing me as a kid, can you imagine what went through my mind when I saw this? I mean, growing up, Jim Carrey was a hero of mine, known for likable characters. What evil trick is this? He scared the hell out of me. Coffee. Number 9, Spaceballs. I mean, come on, Mel Brooks is a genius. Parodies like Star Wars, Star Trek, Planet of the Apes, Alien. This movie is a home run if you're a fan of this type. And yeah, my two favorite scenes are, of course, ludicrous speed. I love the plaid joke. I don't get the plaid joke, but I love the plaid joke. Don't understand why. It makes absolutely no sense. Why doesn't it make sense? But let's not forget the Alien chest burster parody. Even the original actor from Alien reprised his role for this. How awesome is that? Number 8, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. I was pretty reluctant to see this. I saw the trailers for it. It just did not look like something that interests me. But when I finally did see it, I was blown away! It has the perfect blend of action, comedy, and fantasy. And I cannot bring this movie up without talking about how awesome Johnny Depp is as Captain Jack. How much of that stuff was improvised by him. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved the sequels, but they got it right the first time. Number 7, Ace Ventura Pet Detective. As a kid, I would watch the animated series on Saturday mornings, and that's my introduction to the character. So I saw a commercial that they were going to be showing it on TV. I was like, holy crap, this Jim Carrey guy is moving just like the animated cartoon guy. I was so blown away that as a kid, I would be constantly doing impressions of Ace Ventura. My friends would request scenes, and I would perform them in front of them. So when I came up with Impressionistic Jared, which is a self-parody of myself, a throwback to my childhood when I would just painstakingly memorize these lines just so I can do these impressions for my friends. And I thought this film was a good place to start for that whole series. I wonder what else I'm gonna do with it. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And now it's time for what number is this? Number 6, First Blood. Growing up, I used to watch this all the time with my dad. It was one of our mutual favorites. And again, I love the sequels for him. They go bigger, better, full of action. And I do like how this is a much simpler, more just kind of heartfelt story about this guy that just came back from the Vietnam War. He's just trying to adapt to regular life again. This movie ends with one of the most genuine, raw performances from Sylvester Stallone. You might have to turn the subtitles on to understand completely what he's saying. I mean, he really gets into it. But if you know exactly what he's saying, it is one of the most heartbreaking performances that I have ever seen. Bravo, Sly. Bravo. Number 5, the Back to the Future trilogy. You know, I just saw a movie review with James Rolfe recently, and he brought up the original Star Wars trilogy. And he said that to him, it's all kind of one big movie. And I kind of feel the same way about Back to the Future. I mean, from a storytelling aspect, they go together just seamlessly. Bread, peanut butter, jelly. Whopper! Although if I had to pick one, I think I favor the third one the most. I just like how simple it is. And plus, I'm a fan of the old spaghetti westerns. So people like Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, Sam Elliott are among some of my favorites as well. And a fan of movies that are based in the 1800s. But the other thing about it is, Christopher Lloyd's one of my all-time favorite actors, and Doc Brown really gets a chance to shine in this one. Number 4, who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Yeah, that game sucks. Anyway, I can't pick which one's my favorite. Objectively, the first one is a much better movie. I mean, James Rolfe even said, the first movie is like catching lightning in a jar, but it only works once. However, the second one I grew up with. I didn't have the first one until later on, So the sentimental value, I guess, for me for the second one's a little bit greater. But again, the first one is definitely better. More coffee. Number 3, The Terminator. Terminator 1 or Terminator 2? It would be impossible for me to say which one is better. It can't be done. I mean, when you really think about it, Terminator 2 is a perfect movie. You don't need to see the first one, but I do favor the first one because it scared the crap out of me as a young kid. And plus, while Terminator 2 is an action-packed, story-driven masterpiece, the first one is very dark. It's pretty much like a horror movie. And let's not forget the special effects. Yeah, they're dated, but 2 arguments. 1, this film only had a $6 million budget. 2, it's 1984, come on! For its time and budget, those are mind-blowing effects. Oh, gotta pee. Number 2, UHF with Weird Al Yankovic. As far as making movie lists go, this was a very tough decision to make. I literally had to make this decision based on which movie has been in my life the longest. I knew about Weird Al for a long time before I saw this movie, but after I saw this, I was a fan for life. And then shortly after that, I went to my first Weird Al concert, and then my fandom just skyrocketed. And since then, I've been to over 50 concerts of his in the US. I've been to East Coast, West Coast, down South, Midwest, and it never gets old. And although this movie is very dated, it is much like a Weird Al album. Cute, tiny little time capsules that represent that period of music. Same with UHF. UHF TV stations don't even exist anymore. And plus, most of the parodies in this movie are Raiders of the Lost Ark, Rambo, Conan the Barbarian, and Gandhi. So yeah, it's 80s as hell. I love and cherish this movie, and I know many Al fans out there feel the same. Number 1, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? And like many kids, I absolutely loved Warner Brothers, Tex Avery, Disney, especially Roadrunner cartoons. And I'm still blown away by 2D animation interacting with the real world seamlessly, matched up with a well-written story that never slows down. But the little cherry on top of the sundae, I love a great villain. And this film has that, Judge Doom. I've already talked about this guy in my Red and Glowing Eyes video, and it won't be the last. I mean, Christopher Lloyd just nailed it. He's just very calm, calculated, evil, and sinister. But then, as we know, he gets flattened by a steamroller, reinflates himself, and then, oh yeah, this just turned into a horror movie. This guy originated my fear of red eyes. So those are it, my top 10 favorite movies of all time. If you like what you saw, thumbs up. If you hated it, thumbs down. I recommend the thumbs up. You don't want to end up like this guy. I don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every freaking minute of it! And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.